Ross Chastain used the wall all the way around this racetrack. Logano has been the class of the field.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Yeah, I need to change my underwear.
With practice in the books from Martinsville and qualifying order set, Brian and I are in to recap all that was practice and qualifying, give you some updated thoughts, some updated potential. We'll build some DraftKings lineups, look at the updated outright odds as we're recording this late. So we got nice odds to dig through. But Brian Twining from Vegas, your Michigan Wolverines are one win away from the Final Four. Pretty perfect timing that NASCAR is going to take a break next week when you would, in theory, be in Indy for the Final Four. Masters Sunday, like it's
who cares about Masters Sunday?
I mean, lots of people, including myself, significantly. I will watch more golf on Sunday than I've watched the whole NCAA tournament, but that's okay. How the hell are you?
As you said, I'm doing well, and yeah, I when I realized that this is the way that the NASCAR schedule is set up, like a little bit over a week ago, I got very excited knowing that I could actually go to Indy if it did come to that and not have to worry about me being in the stands watching practice and trying to see who was good from the stands of the Final
Because
Four.
know damn well you'd be monitoring lap times from the middle of the game.
Oh, 100%. I would probably have two phones, and one to be able to watch it, and then one with the raw data feed.
You're a sicko, and I absolutely love it.
I am a sicko, man. And look, I'm going to tell you this. I told this to my wife. She doesn't believe me, but because I'm here in Vegas, you know my setup. I have a separate TV, but NASCAR will be on the primary television, and Michigan, the end of the Michigan game will be on the smaller TV. That's where I am at now.
I love it, man. If I told you that like 3 years ago, you would not believe it. But here we are,
I would think that you were off your rocker for sure.
I mean, that may also be the case, but that doesn't make my factual information factual. I really want to get to Martinsville for one of these races. I gotta get one of these hot dogs. They look absolutely incredible.
We're gonna turn into Godzilla. Like it's gonna be the Matthew Broderick Godzilla though, because it's like nuclear thing. We're just gonna turn into funky looking humans.
Yeah, I don't want to see what those toilets look like after the hot dogs, but man, I would love to pound a few of them for sure. What a difference a practice makes, huh?
Yeah.
The weather dropped precipitously. We're gonna get a little warmer tomorrow, or I guess if you're watching this day of the race, a little warmer today, but not what they had envisioned, and it'll be back up to the 80s as soon as Monday. So interesting pivot, and then obviously we'll run through the odds where an interesting name that we were yay close to fading really aggressively, but thankfully we had a really smart, versed discussion, which if you missed Tuesday's episode, it came out Wednesday. Obviously every Wednesday and Sunday we drop episodes, assuming there's a race on Sunday. We talk through fading the 22 who had looked like absolute garbage. And we kind of looked at odds, we looked at numbers, we looked at his history here. We said, what if he does figure it out? Is there a better way to get this? And we switched our bets to top 10 bets. And as we sit here today, we were very happy we did that because Mr. Joey Logano is going to be featured on our card, which is something about 72 hours ago was blasphemous. But Brian, let me pull up our card as it sits currently, and we'll talk through what we have. And then we'll look at the updated odds, and we can talk through what we saw in practice, qualifying efforts, all of that good stuff. But let's do this. So 2 bets currently. Wallace top 10 plus 130, which I feel great about. And honestly, top 5, top 3 ladders, very much in play. And then Chase Elliott over Christopher Bell, which I was telling you, I was looking at the Sims, and it's like about triple those odds. It's like minus 300 for Bells, or for Elliott rather. So feeling good about that. And then you have Blaney to win at 5. which, given where odds are, given where the money I'm guessing they took, it really hasn't moved. It hasn't gone the other
He's
way
gotten
either.
shorter.
But yeah, I mean, 450 is pretty easily had, 4-1 for sure. Host of our 80 for the shits and the gigs, and then Wallace top 10 and Priest top 10 both feel like money. So as we sit right now, we feel great. Let's see how we can screw up these betting cards. Dennis Hamlin 4-1, Ryan Blaney 450, Kyle Larson 650. I'll pull up the odds at the other books on my other screen here. We have Elliott, Byron at 7, and then Seabell at 10. We've talked about it the past few weeks, where it really feels like we have a couple of names especially coming into a Sunday after practice and qualifying, that seem to be a tier above the rest, and it's been working out where those are kind of the names to be aware of. And this week it feels, obviously, Blaney coming in. We all talked through it. When Full Tank with Phil pulled off the jersey and had the Blaney shirt on, for those that know, it was an auto fire at that point. But Dennis Hamlin said, no, not so fast. I'm going to be fast. I'm going to be efficient. I'm going to put it on the pole. And I'm going to look real damn good doing it. So Dennis Hamlin is the other really, really compelling ad that, as we sit here after practice, I know it's short, but it's not as short as we bet Tyler Reddick. Not as short as we bet Ryan Blaney at Phoenix. So it's really compelling. But yeah, is it a clear those two and then everyone else for you?
I guess in a perfect world, yes. Hamlin getting the pole and then saying afterwards he felt like there was still about another 10th or so out there for his lap.
Yeah.
And seeing that he was his typical self in practice at Martinsville, a place that he is amazing at. It's scary for the field, allowing Hamlin to start from that position, but more importantly, also having the pick of the litter for pit stall locations. I mean, the guy's ran over 40 races in the Cup Series here at Martinsville. He's got 6 wins. He's the active leader there. He's incredible. He leads a shit ton of laps here all the time. He won this exact race last year, leading 276 of the 400 laps, or however many laps we had. Like,
400 miles.
Yeah. Good luck. That's all I got to say. And then on Blaney, he didn't look as dominant as I wanted to see him in practice, but he was his typical self. Long run pace, good speed, and he qualified almost 20 positions better than he did last year in both of these races, while still working his way to the front.
Well, and like with Blaney, obviously he has the potential to show up, but like so much of what he does is that long run, getting around cars, knowing what he has to do to get to the front. Just need his damn pit crew to take their head out of their ass and not cost them. Because they flashed a stat which I thought was terrifying.
Gross.
And he's lost him 75 spots, but on pit stops throughout what, 6 races? That's insane.
That doesn't even seem possible.
That's like more than 10 spots per race.
Yeah,
and when pit stops are going to be important tomorrow, and you know who's not going to have a hard time getting pit stop issues? The 11 team.
No, and a couple other guys. Look,
yeah.
Although it's Hamlin, Blaney are the guys to beat for me, there is 1 or 2 other drivers that definitely scare me.
Well, let's go through it, and we'll point out the guys that we think could insert their name into the conversation. So if you want Dennis, Rivers has 450. You can get 430 at FanDuel. Everything else is 4 or shorter. If you want Blaney, you can get him as long as 470 at FanDuel.
I know Blaney reopened 5 at Circa, but Circa's only available in like 6 or 7 states. So
6, 7. Beyond there, we have Larson, we have Elliott, we have Byron. Let's talk to the Hendrick team.
who the knows? I mean,
if you had to pick one to bet, you're like, you have to, here's $100. You can bet any Hendrick driver you want, but you have to bet one. Is it the 5? Is it the 9? Is it 24?
give me the 9 here.
Really?
Yeah, I just think that look, horses for courses is a thing in the sport. Just like last week with Tyler Reddick. You knew Tyler Reddick was going to be fast. You knew Brad Keselowski was going to be good. You knew Chris Buescher was going to be good. When we come to Martinsville, yeah, I know how good William Byron has been, and I know how good Kyle Larson has been at times here, but Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and then one more guy that's in the next little tier always show up at this track.
Yeah.
Every single time these guys are near the front, at the front, racing for the win, doing everything that they can to get there. And they're just better than everybody else in this package track style, whatever it is. So for me, it's the 9. Now, am I betting that? No, I don't know. It's just hard to bet Elliott when we haven't seen him win.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's tough. The 5 is the number for me. I haven't bet it yet. I have an 8 staring at me. It's so tempting. Cliff Daniels came over the intercom and said, I'm good with what we have. Let me know. You can come in. Larson obviously ended up running more laps to get more information, as he always is. So I don't know if he's not quite as comfortable as the 5 team in general, or if he was just searching to see if he could get a little more speed or a little more something. But it is always scary with the 5 team when they feel like they have it. And we haven't seen that you've pointed out a couple times. I mentioned it in the newsletter. This dude hasn't won since Kansas won 2025 in the Cup Series.
30 straight races.
It's a lot. And could he rip off 4 in a row? He absolutely could. But it's been 30. Does it make it 31? Does he win on Sunday? Oh, but that 8-1 price is really, really tempting. Beyond there, let's go to that next range where we both have a bet, because Joseph Logano, come on down. Penske has the long run speed. Logano,
Joey loved his car.
Yeah.
In race trim. And for what it's worth, yes, he waited to go out in that first practice session, but his late laps in that like 50, 60 range, in very Ryan Blaney-esque style, his car turned on and was cooking. I mean, Larson was fast, but Logano's car was fast AF.
And it's very Logano to like completely miss it one week and then come back and
100%, man.
Rubbing in everyone's face. Everyone who counted him out. We were talking so much shit before practice and qualifying. How can we fade this guy? Give me all the ways. I mean, I'm glad we didn't. You can still get 12 place.
Something else that impressed me about the 22 and the 5 to a little bit of a lesser extent was where they were able to qualify based on where they went out in the session. Larson went out really early. Logano went out only a few cars after him, and Logano qualified inside the top 10. Larson qualified just outside the top 10. So those cars have legit speed. And it wasn't just the fact that they were fast because they were in the first group on a colder track with a little bit more grip. No, those cars are hooked up and they're going to be able to work their way to the front. But Logano, for me, just with Logano's ability to run top 10 here and finish top 10 and not get himself involved in wrecks like we've seen Larson do at every single type of track is what separates those two for me in terms of which one I would rather play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I also thought it was really interesting that with Logano, with Larson, with Bubba Wallace, a lot of the power teams had representation in the first group, which is something they very rarely have,
Yep.
which allowed them to make some extra decisions for the second round of guys. Let's talk about the other names that we kind of skipped over. So we got Chris Bell as 10, Ty Gibbs at 12. Ty Gibbs is just back to being a fixture of like the 12 to 16 range pretty much every week. And
until he wins, I'm not betting that.
Yeah, but then he's going to be like, what, 8? I don't know. Bubba Wallace, who I know he was in Group 1, looked really, really good. The question you asked me, and I think is the most important question, is in terms of the outright price on the 23, do you think he can beat the 5, the 9, the 24, the 22, the 12, the 11? Like, that's
the 24, like,
yeah, it's 6 heavy hitters that he has to beat. And can he beat that? Maybe. This is in a place where 2311's amazing. But Bubba's been really good, especially in the spring. Like a top 5, top 10 type day sounds very much within the range of outcomes. And maybe something weird happens and he finds a way to victory lane. But yeah, he looked really good, but the price is still a little short for me.
I also worry about where Bubba is starting, simply because we haven't really ever seen him drive from the back at a place like this. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats real quick. You know, we all reference how good he's ran here the last couple of seasons, but those are wins starting 9th, 6th, 2nd, and 8th. He has finishing results of 9th, 11th, 4th, and 3rd. But the other 2 races in that span, fall of 2024 and fall of last year, he started 19th and 21st respectively, finishing 19th and 18th in those races. And so it's one of those things where had he not screwed up his lap and cooked it into 3, he probably would have went faster than Logano, be starting inside the top 10 and be a much more interesting option on the outright market. It's just with him starting, you know, I think he's like starting 16th or 17th, 18th, maybe. It's hard to want to get invested there, knowing how important track position and also pit stall selection, which he's now so far down the board was in doing.
Yeah, it feels a lot like a Byron situation where he just kind of will finish where he starts, and that's kind of what his day will look like. Like I said, I still think a top 10 is very much in the range of outcome. Feel great about that. I think top 5, especially at some of the numbers that I've seen, makes for an interesting conversation. But in terms of getting to the victory lane and cashing outright for us, it does feel like maybe a bridge too far. Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, like, have we eclipsed the names that we at least feel good about potentially winning this race? Or is there a name, a Ryan Preece, Austin Cindric, something that you want to throw out there as a potentially viable if people want to get gross?
Just go look at the recent winners here at Martinsville, and you tell me, like, if you're watching this, do yourself a favor and go back and look at just the last 6 races here at Martinsville and the names of the guys that are winning at this track. This is a top-heavy racetrack where it's the guys who are elite here winning every single time. It is not a place where you're going to be able to cherry pick longer numbers or surprise winners. And sorry, but Josh Berry, I know he qualified good and he's a short track guy, but there is no world where I'm betting him at 20 or 25 when you have a Logano at double digits, or even a Bubba at double digits who's been at this track and been good, before. This is not a place where you can get crazy with that type of stuff, especially knowing, for the most part, most of us that were handicapping this race or betting this race are probably sitting on pretty large tickets on short numbers pre-practice as we were picking 1 or 2 guys to go into qualifying with.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you could say, well, sometimes if it's a fall race thing and they're those guys are having a little more juice or whatever, but the spring has been very much the same. It's been a couple Byron
Yeah.
wins, it's been a 5 win, it's been, it's the who's who, and especially as we've seen this year, it's like obviously Tyler Reddick's won majority of the races, but there's like 5 contenders every week. And it's like Reddick and Bell, Reddick and Hamlin, Blaney and Reddick, Blaney and Bell. Like it's just the same handful of guys at the top. And obviously HMS will be getting involved with that too. But there's like 2 or 3 guys who have a real shot to win the race, and then kind of everyone else. So
Well, to your point, I won't even name names. In the 8 next gen races that we've had here at Martinsville, 5 guys have won.
yeah.
And they're like, it's the who's who of the sport.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I'm gonna Brian's gonna laugh me off the podcast, but SVG and AD3 stacks are compelling targets, but not to win the race, even at that 75-1 number.
Oh man. I will say I am fairly interested to see how SVG performs starting where he is, because I know early in the year at the Clash, I was all about, and I had myself a pretty decent SVG top 10 ticket for that race when books were laying top 10s for a race that only had 23 cars. His qualifying spot there sucked, so that kind of screwed that over, but he was still okay. And he apparently said today this is like his like now favorite oval, like non fast oval. So and something else to keep in mind, this new horsepower package where you have to get off the throttle, maybe more braking, definitely plays into his skill set as a road course racer.
Yeah, no, this is the closest thing to a road course that he's gonna
100%.
get to from a braking standpoint. So
yeah,
like you, I'm very interested to see, and I have his top 10 prices, something I could potentially get behind.
If it doesn't have a 10 in front of it, or like realistically, it would still have to be 5 for me to want to play it.
Yeah, FanDuel has like 350, so I don't know. We'll see. That's closer.
That's a little bit closer. I don't know if I could get there, but
yeah, definitely not gonna go off in the FMV on the Sims, but that's okay. Speaking of our friends over at Win the Race, great time to get in. 200,000 simulations to get us the best potential values in terms of outrights and top manufacturer, top 10, top 3, top 5. You can do the head-to-head tool. It's a great double check, triple check, see what you may see a number that's like, whoa, that seems like a great value, and then you look at it and then you dive into some history, and then you go, wait, let's pump the brakes a little bit. And especially when you're not, it's real easy to get over your skis when you're looking at all these odds dropping and you want to get ahead of the market and cash out at the CLV casino. It's really fun to do, but it's a great tool. It's a great resource. It's obviously great for DraftKings and for DFS. Their optimizer is trucks and O'Reilly and Cup Series. And if you play on FanDuel, not DraftKings, they even have a tool for that. So and I know there's been a couple guys in the Discord who are just printing money over that FanDuel. It feels like we need to be heading over there, but amazing tool, a great resource. And then the Discord is the best place to be, both during the week and on race day. So highly recommend getting in there, having fun with us, incredible discussions, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and just a quick snippet of the Discord. I don't think you're gonna find any other NASCAR analytics Discord where you can get just nonstop conversation about odds, DFS, practice, qualifying, races, including other sports, and also the best socks that you can buy on the market, whether you're playing sports, working out, or just lounging at the house. I mean, this Discord is literally off the chains. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Plus EV across the board. No matter what you're doing, we're gonna get you
seriously
the plus EV value.
100%, man. It is the most enjoyable time that you'll ever have talking NASCAR.
And you could pop in there at all hours, and there's going to be probably a couple people having a conversation. So, for what it's worth, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson are the boosts over at Caesars. So those who know. It sounds like the 24 is the car to get on.
No.
No.
We've seen a boosted driver win 3 weeks in a row, I believe.
Oh. So you're saying
Reddick was the boost last week. Hamlin was the boost at Vegas.
Wow. How the turns have tabled.
So they're either like competing for the win or they're wrecking. Like that's.
I mean, putting Kyle Larson was like just chef's kiss. Like that's
serious. As somebody not holding a single ticket on a Chevy, yes, please do not win.
The Ricky Bobby of our generation, as they say. Any other betting kind of general thoughts? Anybody that you're excited to find a way to get some action on? Anybody you're excited to fade? Anything else you're looking at? Obviously, our full betting card with thoughts will be in the newsletter, aoppodcast.substack.com. Once again, aoppodcast.substack.com. Costs you nothing. You get 2 emails a week with a bunch of really good information, including a race recap that includes a preview of the upcoming race in terms of guys we may be targeting, and then odds that dropped as we were kind of first initially looking at it. And then we come back on Sunday morning with DraftKings thoughts, with bets, with our full card, with links to episodes, with whatever you guys want. If there's other stuff you think would be helpful in there, definitely let us know on the X machine. But Brian, before we pivot and talk all things DraftKings, is there anything else you want to make sure we hit on?
Yeah, I think this week in particular is not the week to get cute and try to fade like William Byron with Kyle Larson or vice versa, or play Chase Elliott versus Joey Logano, or you don't want to necessarily play the top dogs at Martinsville against each other, because this is the type of track where track position matters tremendously. And even though it's been shown that you can pass, if Joey Logano gets out front, good luck to the field getting around him at any stage of the race. And so you don't want to fade him in matchups. Thank the Lord we pivoted earlier in the week. And the same thing goes for like a Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney. You do not fade those guys in matchups. Right now, I've been targeting like the mid-tier guys.
Yeah.
In matchups. Look, if you have it available to you, offshores, they often post matchups of mid to backpack drivers. That's where you see the highest variance in their performance levels.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a head-to-head with Logano versus Elliott that I was liking at a big plus money, but as you pointed out, good way to stay away. And there's even some mid-pack guys like a Ryan Preece, Austin Cindric, who can show up here. So trying to fade them thinking, it's Austin Cindric. Like, I mean, you can, but he's been better than you think. So
do it at your own risk.
Great to have a tool like Win the Race to not only look at track history, but be able to actually do a sim and see what they say is fair in terms of perception and reality and all that good stuff. All right, Brian, let's talk DraftKings. We got lots to get into. So Dennis Hamlin, 11K starting on the pole. As you mentioned, led 274 laps here last time. In 3 of his starts has led 150 or more laps. He could easily dominate the shit out of this race, find his way in victory lane, and be the guy you need. Beyond there, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell all offer a ton of movement potential and could get to the front, could lead a bunch of laps, and could be really, really important. And then William Byron starting on the front row with Dennis, rounding out the 10K. Where does your initial attention go in this range?
We have 400 laps.
We do. Well,
We have the
400
guy.
miles. Oh, it's a mile long track.
No, it's a half mile track, but they're running 400 laps. And we have the guy that led 276 of these 400 laps after starting 5th on the pole. It's Denny Hamlin, and then figure it out from there. There is nobody else that you want to start your card with him starting on the inside, with him having the number 1 pit stall, with the first stage being a non-half to pit stage. And Hamlin coming into the race, we knew these next 4 races coming into Darlington, Hamlin said his goal was to win at least 1. He already got rid of 1 at Darlington, so he's only got 3 to go. And he's at the track where he's won 6 freaking times. Yes. Denny, and then go from there.
Yeah. Yep. Everything Brian said.
I don't...
Nailed it. It's interesting. I'm going to be curious to see how we build lineups because I think starting Hamlin, Blaney, Hamlin, Larson.
I was just going to say...
Probably not Hamlin, Bell. Could be fun. If you want to fade Dennis, because he's going to be incredibly popular, it's terrifying. It's horrifying. But if you're doing a couple single entries and not much else, and you want to go somewhere else, you're definitely going to be unique. And that's a way where if you start without Denny and build from there, you can play whoever the F you want and be fine. So
what is the Hunger Games salute thing? It's like this or something.
Be careful. Be careful. You're not too far from an Elon there, so let's calm down. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck if you're not playing Denny.
Yeah. But yeah, I know it does feel like, like I said, I already wrote all my DFS stuff and Dennis is prominently featured. So.
Oh, great. Yeah. So you might want to fade Denny because he was the first guy that I wrote up to. So Kyle and I did not talk about this.
Rank them for me. Blaney, Larson, Bell for their price and their starting spot.
Well, I'm biased. Obviously, it's Blaney 1, Larson 2, and then Bell a distant third for me. I personally, if I'm building a lineup this week, obviously I'm in Vegas. I can't do that for this race, but it's Hamlin and then one of either Blaney or Larson, and then I'm going from there.
Yeah, and you could, if you go Hamlin, Bell, and that is the move, that's another way where you could play Denny and then go to Bell instead of Larson or Blaney, and that's going to
definitely different. Yep. Good, great call right there. I'm not particularly high on
yeah,
Bell
I'm not doing it, but that's if you want to play the 11 and you're like, I got to be a little bit different though for single entry or 3 max, going down to Bell or even hell diving down to the 9Ks could be an interesting way to play it too. Yeah,
let's talk about this 9K. 9 and the
Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher. That's basically 8K to 10K. All over the board. Back markers, RFKs, just like all clumped together again. Gibbs, second row. Good luck. Logano starting 9th. I feel like it's going to be hard for people to get to him. So if you really believe in the 22, could be an interesting way. Where's your head and your attention going as you kind of look at this range?
Yeah, in a complete turn of the tides, another way to get extremely different while still playing Denny is putting Hamlin, skipping Blaney and Larson and Bell, and just going directly to Logano, who I think is probably, for me, the 3rd or 4th most dangerous guy here on Sunday. And starting 9th, like he's going to ride at worst. He's going to be up there all day. And you know that when he unloads like this, and he sounds as confident as he does, and when he's coming off of an absolute stinker like last week, you know he's going to be extra motivated to get to the front and potentially win this race. And I think it's also important to note, like, albeit not a super similar track, but same exact package at Phoenix, Logano was fast.
Yeah.
And it was a wreck that ruined his day. It wasn't him not performing well. It was a mistake by somebody else that cost him a potential race win in that race. So wouldn't be shocked to see the 22 in victory lane this week either.
Yeah, and I think he's interesting because I think if he's paired with somebody up top, it's probably going to be more likely the 12 than the 11. I also think with Elliott, a few $100s more, starting one position back, or going down to a Wallace, a Priest, probably not a Busher. It may be Ross Chastain is when we talk 7Ks, but like the pivots easily had there. You like, oh, I'm going to go down to Bubba instead of spending up to Logano and get those extra spots and save a few $100s. Or I really like Chase. We think he can be really good. And I think there's a world where you could do Elliott and Logano and something, you know, we'll see how the bottom looks. Cause I think there is a few names down there, but you know, he could be a guy that's easily kind of skipped over as you go down or you go up and then you kind of just forget about him. So I think there's opportunity. Are you interested in Wallace and Priest given their starting spots? I know it's going to be hard to move forward in terms of winning the race, but I think from a DraftKings perspective, they both feel pretty compelling top 10 guys with maybe a little bit more upside.
Yeah, 100%. I know a lot of people are going to gravitate to Bubba, rightfully so. He's been really good here, but going back to what I said earlier, his ceiling is probably capped just outside the top 5. Yeah. And probably the same thing for Priest. But that being said, last year at this track, I mean, Priest, what he finished 6th and 7th, and he didn't look great in practice, but he kind of always does that at a short track. That's to be expected. And so him qualifying where he did, which is not something that we usually see from RFK at short tracks, and better starting positions than he had last year by about 10 positions.
Yeah.
I think Priest is certainly still somebody to consider as a high ceiling play that, you know, he also has a very high floor because of the track type that we're at.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. Let's dive into the mid-range. We got Kez starting 23rd, Josh Berry 3rd, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, Kyle Busch. Truly eclectic mix. Do you have interest in any of those names?
Short answer?
No.
Yeah, not particularly. I think Chastain is still a top 10 threat, but that team has been so up and down this year. I don't know how much I can trust them. And then Kyle Busch, the guy just needs to, I don't know.
Sunny day retirement home.
Yeah, it's sad to see, but at the same time, you know, we've talked about this at length at the last couple of years about the guys that are like begin to age out, where their performance levels just continuously drop. And
yeah,
especially with him being with RCR, who just they're like a barely a second tier, bottom of the second tier team, if they even are at that level anymore.
Yeah, but even like last week, we saw Austin Dillon show up in a week when Kyle Busch was a non-factor. They're running a third car with Austin Hill and Jesse Love. Like, I'm not really sure what their game plan is, but it does feel like one of those guys is in the 8 car next year. We'll see where Kyle Busch is, whether he's retired or racing or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, even with some of these older guys that like seem like they're losing it, they'll find a way. Brad at Darlington. You know, we've seen Logano show up. We've seen some of the older guys be really competitive, even if it's not every single week like it used to be. And with Kyle Busch, it's just like it feels like it's been 2 years since he's been viable. He on road courses, sometimes he'll pop up for like a top 5, top 10 type day, but like that's peak. And other than that, on the ovals, he's
super speedways, but I mean that doesn't even count as like real racing.
I mean, when McDowell and Todd Gilliland, these other jabronis are the kings there. Like obviously anybody can win any week.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6K. Cindric, Allgaier, Suarez, Dinger, Zilich, Eric Jones, McDowell, John Hunter, SV Jesus. If we want to get expensive at the top, we're going to have to get into the 6K. Is there a name down here, or is it worth a scroll for you to get into the 5K and just grab a couple of those guys because they're all kind of the same?
The only guy in this range that is even piquing my interest is Connor Zilich, actually. He performed pretty good at Darlington. He looked okay in practice, and outside of him having run-ins with cars, he's pretty good at taking care of his stuff. Again, he's an extremely skilled road course racer. And so I would think that this type of setup suits his driving style.
Yeah, that's fair. It just goes so scary at this track for young drivers. It really feels like it takes 3-4 races to really get comfortable and like know when to push, when to not.
The only thing though is nobody in this range is somebody that we would look at and be like, oh yeah, they're good at Martinsville.
Dinger's not bad. I don't hate Dinger.
He's basically they've been ghosted by Chevrolet already. I mean, they should just come out. They should just come out and say, like, Chevrolet is no longer offering support for our program, and so that way people can understand, like, when his performance levels start to drop off as the season continues to go on, that people will know, like, it's not just him not performing well or Colleague being absolute dumpster fires. The fact that they're not receiving any help from a manufacturer, because their manufacturer that they're going to be hopefully transitioning to isn't even in the damn series yet.
Yeah. John Hunter is fine, but let's dive into the 5K, because I'm going to pound the table for a couple names and you're going to laugh me off the podcast, but that's okay. Gregson, Zane Smith, Gilliland, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse, Austin Hill, Custy Busty, Ty Dillon, Riley Herbst, and Cody Ware. 83 stacks and Todd Gilliland are exceptional values. They're both extremely terrifying. Gilliland's been basically a non-factor for a month and a half. But he did show some speed. This is a place where he's been good, and ditto for Dillon. He obviously not quite as good, but he's had some decent results. I think if you tell me Dillon starts 30th and finishes 15th, I'm fine with that, given not only what it's gonna do for me sub 6K, but it's also going to open up so much at the top where I'm so much happier with my lineup up there.
Yeah, it's Pickleman and then Dillon for me. Not just because of where they're starting or like past results, but also for the fact that Gilliland getting to start on the inside line, he's not going to get passed immediately on the green flag. Whereas Dillon being stuck on the outside right there with Noah Gragson, Gilliland's teammate, right behind him, you already know that Noah is going to be aggressive on these starts, because the guys that are starting in the back, they have to try to avoid being one amongst the first a lap down. So with Dillon being stuck on the outside for the first few laps, he's starting 30th. Yeah. But there is certainly a world where he's not able to get down until he's in position 33, 34. And then you're looking at a grind to have to avoid being amongst the first 4 or 5 cars to get lapped when the long run speed does actually come into play. By then, who knows? His race is already lost. So like when I'm looking at guys at the back of the pack, I want guys starting on the inside and obviously that have a decent track history. Like Gilliland, he's started in the back before and finished, mid-teens, close to the top 10 area.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid point, but I also think if you're trying to be a little bit unique, I think a lot of people are going to be a lot easier to get to Gilliland, who's going to be in the same range. And, your point about the inside line, maybe Gragson becomes interesting. But like I like the fact that we can find 3 or 4 names in the 5K range, where not only we're building multiple lineups, we're mixing and matching each week, or each lineup, but we could also like hammer them and then get real fun at the top. So
Yeah.
um,
Which we're gonna have to do because
it gets you a lot of flexibility. So what I'm gonna do, and it may be a little barf salad, but I'm gonna put Noah in, I'm gonna put Gilliland in, and I'm gonna put Dylan in. And then I'm going to go to the top, and then we're going to start building, and then we'll figure out maybe 1 or 2 of those guys get pivoted. But I'm going to start there, and I think that's a fun way. Really, really, really stars and scrubsy. I like it. I like it a lot. We didn't talk about Briscoe. Do you have any interest? He feels like he's going to be a non-factor this week, kind of like
if he finishes top 10, fantastic. I'll let that eat at me, but whatever. Okay. I can't trust them anymore. So
do you want to go Denny, Blaney? I mean, I guess we don't. We could do Joey, and then we could pivot off of 83.
No, I would much rather pivot. I know I just talked about Dylan, but that was in regards to him versus Gilliland. I am not playing Noah Gragson over 83.
And that gets us to 8K. We can play Busher, Keselowski. We can play Chastain.
I would actually prefer to play Chastain there. I mean, you could even pivot off of Gilliland or Dylan.
Yeah, but like I like Dylan. I like Dylan more great. I like Dylan more than like the 6K guys though. Like I'd much rather play Dylan or Gilliland or even Gragson than Zilich or Eric Jones or McDowell or John Hunter.
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure. I actually don't hate that lineup at all.
I don't either. I mean, the best we're gonna do is Zilich, and
I'd rather play Gilligan.
The only other discussion is if you wanted to do it
would be pivoting off of Logano, but you're not moving up much.
No,
I mean you could go to like Briscoe, but I'm sorry. Of the two, the higher ceiling for me is the 22 because despite him only being able to gain 8 spots to get to the front, he has actual dominator potential, in my opinion.
Yeah. And there's a lot of laps, so we could get some dominance from multiple of those guys. All right. This will be our... Well, I'll let you decide because I'm fine playing Denny in all 3 lineups this week. I think getting off of him is probably not necessary, but if you want to do it and get to Byron and Larson or something, I'm happy to see.
If you want to make an HMS lineup, I'm not opposed to it.
Gross. Do we want to play all 3 of them, or should we?
Why not? They're all 3 of them are good here.
Yeah, but like maybe it's Byron and Elliott, and we let Larson does something stupid because he does do stupid stuff, and then we have Byron lead the majority of the first two stages, and then Elliott comes on strong at the end. Or you can make the same argument for Larson. But maybe not both.
Why not?
Okay. What's the next click?
There's 3 stages in this race.
Sure.
It would not shock me whatsoever. Say Denny the world ends and he misses a corner or he has more mechanical gremlins. Byron jumps to the leads the entire first stage. Okay.
Yep.
Something we've seen him do before. He can run away.
Yep.
On the pit cycle, his team F's up, hands over the lead to Chase Elliott for stage 2. Chase Elliott goes out there. He's incredibly good here. He goes out and leads the entire stage 2. Stage 3 comes around. Kyle Larson's just been lurking in the shadows all race. Him and Cliff Daniels conjure up some psycho crazy spit fast pit stop. He leads the entirety of stage 3 and wins the race. Wouldn't shock me whatsoever.
Talk dirty to me. What about Riley Herbst?
Starting 26th?
Yeah, that's probably
Give me
fair.
Ty Dillon.
All right, let's see here.
Riley can't even get out of his own way, the poor kid. Like last week, he was having
No.
such a good run, and then he gets wrecked. You want to play spin outs in this one?
On purpose?
Yeah.
No.
Or go back to Gilligang.
Yeah, it's Gilliland or Gregson for me.
Well, okay, let's play Gregson, and then we could play Gilliland in the next lineup.
Okay.
Ooh.
Bubba? And that's our top Toyota right there.
Yeah, I like that.
God, these lineups are coming together way too easy.
We're doomed.
Dead in the water. All right, so Dennis, Gilliland, Gregson.
No. Don't put Gregson in. We got enough Gregson already, sir.
We only have him in one lineup.
That's plenty.
That's the quota.
That is the quota for Noah. All right, so we only have. I think we go back to Blaney here. Personally, we do Hamlin Blaney again.
Okay, so the other thing I was going to suggest is we skip this range, the 10K, and we look at like Elliott or Logano or Bubba or Priest. I mean, we haven't.
So I think you can do Denny, Blaney,
Priest,
Bubba, or Priest.
Let's do Priest.
Okay.
And then the question is, do we want to get gross and then get a stud in, or do we want to mix it up? So I guess because we can't do Larson, Bell, or Byron, but we can do Elliott, we can do Briscoe, we can do Logano.
What does the lineup look like if we put the 9 in here?
We are going to Riley Herbst. Or actually, we're going to Cody. So the other thing we could do.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust Cody Ware for this.
Is not do Blaney. And we could.
You're going to go into a Martinsville race with making 3 lineups and only one of them having Ryan Blaney.
I mean, no, it's terrifying. But we could do something like that. Oh God. No, that's
but that doesn't feel good because then we have give me Blaney.
Okay.
And Elliott.
Well, that means we play Cody Ware. That's the only option.
Oh.
Because I don't think we want to play Austin Dillon in all three lineups, do we?
No.
No.
Okay, we need to find a mid. So we already got Priest.
So Gregson or John Hunter or Zilich are the names.
What if we play Wallace here?
And we can play Bubba. So I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying.
Hey, that gets us
John Hunter or Gregson.
I'd rather play Gregson so that way we don't
or
have
we
to.
can play Zilich, who you're a little more in on. I'm not as excited. But that puts
certainly not more optimistic about those two guys.
And then it gets us to Buescher and Keselowski and guys that I don't really love.
Yeah, because we already have Chastain.
Yeah.
We only have one thing of Bubba, who I think is going to be strong. But
yeah, I'm very excited.
Okay, fine. We can play your stupid Gregson.
Well, I mean, we could play Austin Dillon too. Like I prefer.
No,
Dillon.
I don't want 3 lineups.
But I think to your point, having the inside line, having a teammate right in front of you, and starting 31st, sub 6K, that could be fun. And then you get up to say, and then Tyrone.
Starting fourth, though?
Nah, I mean, it feels awful, but
Yeah, exactly.
but maybe he leads a bunch of laps early.
Yeah,
and
I
then-
don't.
Let's see.
I don't know. I don't really like that lineup.
He started third at got fifth, 7 fastest laps, 14 to 4, 9 to 4. Yeah, I
We're
wish
really banking on Priest here.
because we're basically Gibbs. I think his best case scenario is top 5, and so if you start fourth, like the odds of him being useful is really low.
Yeah, and I think Priest can get to top 5 too. If he looks like he did last year in these 2 races, with him starting further up in the field, he's going to be a threat.
I mean, you could tell me Bubba and Priest are but somewhere between 4th and 7th, the two of them.
Yeah, I like that a lot better than playing Gibbs.
Question is, do we have any interest in getting to? I don't think we want to play McDowell or John Hunter. Do you want to play John Hunter over Noah?
Nah,
where they're.
The only reason why I would go to that is just to avoid playing Noah 3 times or twice.
Yeah, but like you said, I want that inside line, and I trust him more. And there's nobody like that we haven't played that I want to make sure we get in. Priest was the one guy for me, and we got him in. Yeah, I think that's it. There's our 3 lineups. I mean, we could build a single entry without. No, we already did one without Denny. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian,
too easy.
It's late. We did it. You're still with us. Make sure you click that like button. Make sure you click subscribe on the way out. Go check out the newsletter, ALPpodcast.substack.com. Brian and I stay up into the wee hours of the morning, making sure that's finished and polished and out to you both on race day and following an amazing, hopefully compelling race where we hopefully cash some tickets, win some money on DraftKings, and have an amazing time in the Discord in the process. Brian has just been in fuego on outrights. I'm doing my best to hold up in my end of the bargain. We're both in the green, which feels great. Brian's currently kicking in my ass, but that's okay.
It's early.
Currently, you have Blaney, Hocevar, Wallace, Priest. Wallace and Priest are top 10s. Hocevar is 80 to 1 just to feel something. Name any names that are on your card or potentially going to be on your card as you look to kind of finish your obviously we'll be having our final betting card in the newsletter, but is there a name or two that you're going to add exposure to before the night's done?
Oh yeah, we talked about him a bunch. Joey Logano, and then I do kind of want a little bit of Elliott somewhere. Just he's so good here, and I have a hard time going into the race without having some type of Elliott exposure at Martinsville, whether it be top 5, maybe even top Chevrolet, depending on price. I think that's probably a market that is the most or the least dangerous in terms of volatility, simply because you're not having to go up against Denny or any of the other Toyotas or Blaney in that matter. And so, and you don't even have to have him finish top 5. I mean, in the world where Logano, Blaney, Hamlin, even Christopher Bell, if he somehow pops, and then if Ty Gibbs or Bubba Wallace or Ryan Priest or something like that finds a way to the front, you don't need Elliott to be up there.
Yeah, it does. Like, it's hard when because you can't bet all these guys to top 5, especially at the short numbers.
Yeah,
you have to find ways to get exposure. Maybe it's in matchups. Maybe you can find some value there. But like you said, a lot of these guys are pinned up against each other, and you're kind of like, well, shit, I'm not gonna pick between the best of the best against each other. So we'll have some decisions to make. Once again, the full betting card will be on aoppodcast.substack.com. Once again, aoppodcast.substack.com. The link is down there. Win the race link down there. The like button, the subscribe button's up there, but everything else is down there. Make sure you click the shit out of this stuff before you get out of here. Go check out the newsletter. Give us the love over there. We really work hard on this podcast and the newsletter for all y'all. So please do us a favor and check it out. Spread the good word of the angle of pursuit. Brian from Las Vegas. I'm Kyle. We'll be back next week to recap all that was Martinsville and look ahead to
Bristol in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, we got the Easter break. We'll see if we have a podcast. I'm hoping to schedule something for next week, but we'll see with the Easter break, except for the trucks. And then we'll be back for Bristol, baby. For Brian Twining, I'm Kyle Robert. Enjoy the race, cash some tickets, win some money on DraftKings, and we'll be back next week to recap all that was. Peace out.